How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 2019 career mode. I apologise that it's been a few weeks since the last episode. I was just fully focusing on getting the FIFA career mode done, and but now we're back on the F1. Was going to say grind, but not really. And as you saw there, we had 3 new upgrades coming in, 2 downforce upgrades and 1 engine upgrade, which is really going to help on a track like Spain, especially the downforce ones. There's a lot of turns in Spain. There is a lot of turns, quite a few chicanes as well, quite a few tight turns. We don't improve in terms of on paper amongst the rest of the grid, but we're still looking pretty good. And of course, after getting our first points out in Baku last time, we now have 8 points, and they are also the only 8 points that Toro Rosso has. We're now pretty much level with McLaren as well on paper, so we are definitely getting better, that is for sure. Anyway, let's just get straight on with qualifying.
Qualifying's about to kick off any moment here at the Circuit Barcelona Catalunya. No doubt that today will be full of action on the track. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily. It's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
So here we are then in qualifying, and Spain is a track that I just really don't like. I don't know what it is. I'm just really not good on this track. I think it's the fact that a lot of the turns are just really tight, and there's a few chicanes here and there, and there's also a couple of turns I just cannot seem to get right at all. And at the end of our first run in qualifying, you can see that I actually don't improve on my best time, or on the, on that time, which is really frustrating. But this is the second run now. There's only 25 seconds left of qualifying left, so this is my final run. And as you can see, one of the Haas cars gets really close to me on this turn here, but I decide, you know what, no, I'm not that bothered. It's not going to affect my lap. Well, it sort of did affect my lap, but, if it ruins my lap, it ruins his lap, so you know what, at the end of the day, we both lose out. But we come through the final few corners here. We are improving on our time here by about 2 tenths, and we gain a heap of time out of that final corner, and in the end, it ends up half a second quicker. But it isn't the best day of qualifying for us. We finished 16th. Yeah, not amazing.
What does the Spanish Grand Prix have in store for us today, I wonder? I hope we see some tight wheel-to-wheel action down the main straight, circa Mansell and Senna way back in '91, or maybe we'll have a more strategic race here on a track where overtaking can be difficult. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Gasly, Ricciardo, Butler, Magnussen, and Roman Grosjean, Perez, Hülkenberg, Lucas Faber, and Raikkonen, Lawrence, Norris, George Russell and Alexander Albon, Kubica and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So we're starting 15th, we move up a place after a grid penalty for Lance Stroll in the Racing Point. And as you can see, or as you could see, it was just a one stop from softs to mediums, simple as you like. And yeah, we're going to get underway for the Spanish Grand Prix. The 5 red lights are out almost. They're out now, and we are underway in Barcelona, and it is not the greatest start for me at all. All the cars in front get away from me, and George Russell's looking for a move on the outside of me already. But I try and I have a look at going down the inside of Raikkonen, but in the end I just leave it, and I actually get through turn 1 without being scratched. But as you can see there, just further on in lap 1, we actually do make a move on Kimi Raikkonen and go up a place into P14. So we've already made up, well, 2 places from our original grid position, but obviously, you know, 1 place in the actual race. But as you can see, just look at how much I'm struggling going through these corners. I mean, it's this corner in particular. I always get oversteer in that corner. I don't know what it is. But we move on to the end of lap 1. Going into lap 2, and George Russell with his rocket straight line speed gets past me, and so does Kimi as well. And we end up staying down the outside, going down the outside of George Russell, which means we have the inside line for the next corner. We do go off the track slightly, but we do retain our position of P14. We go quite wide on the right hander though, so George Russell does stay quite close to us. And yeah, again, we go really wide in the next turn. Russell and Raikkonen are right behind us. We're causing a train behind us, and the cars ahead of us are getting away. So we're really quite slow. We are really quite slow at the moment. Again, like I said, Spain is not a track I enjoy, as we get oversteer on that corner again. And George Russell is managing to catch up to us. We pinch him into the right hander, and as you can see behind us, all the cars have stopped. So something must have happened to George Russell in the background, but we managed to get away from everyone, and we're now just out on our own at this point. But as you can see, this is George Russell just behind me, looking for a move on the inside, and we pinched him into the corner, and he went on a massive spin. And I think my teammate Alex Albon and Robert Kubica as well, actually in the Williams, came out worse. Alex Albon actually ended up in last place because of this, as all the cars get going again. And yeah, basically Russell's spin just caused a massive pile-up, which I thought was quite hilarious, to be honest with you, the way the cars dealt with that. But my teammate Alex Albon got absolutely pinched between all of the cars there. And as you can see there on team radio, we have wear on the internal combustion engine, which means we are going to be slow. So just like in the F2 series, or in the F2 race, although that was a problem with turbo, of course the one where I let Lucas Weber pass me, we have a problem with the internal combustion engine, which means just again we're going to be slow. But not much happened after that, so we come in for our pit stop. I think this was lap 4 or 5. We put on the medium tyres, and they are the tyres that will remain on my car for the rest of the race. We do come out in 19th place, Robert Kubica being the only car behind us. So yeah, it's not been the greatest race for us so far, has it? But we make a move down the inside of our teammate there, Alex Albon, and we look at going down the inside of Stroll, but we end up going off the track. So we don't make the move there. It was lap 4, by the way, that we came in for the pit stop, or lap 3 into lap 4. But as you can see there, Lance Stroll must have a problem, because he is going so slow, and we get past him with ease. And we're up into P17. Of course, we're the only ones to have made a pit stop so far. So Albon, Stroll, and Kubica behind us, all will remain behind us. But as you can see, this is Sebastian Vettel coming out the pits. He's got his teammate Charles Leclerc behind him and the 2 Mercedes ahead of him. But he is looking quite quick in that Ferrari. As you can see, he's already pulling away from his teammate slightly and getting a lot closer. But as we go and look behind us, Devon Butler is in a battle with the two Renaults. He's just been passed by Daniel Ricciardo, and now Nico Hülkenberg is looking at maybe trying to pass him there. They are side by side at the moment, wheel to wheel, as Crofty would say, and they're still side by side there. Devon Butler tries to remain ahead. He just got his nose in front there, but in the end, Hülkenberg manages to get the job done and go up in position. I don't know what position this was for, I completely forgot, but I think it was for like 8th, 9th and 10th or something like that. And this is Sebastian Vettel getting past Lewis Hamilton for 2nd place, so he is on the charge, he is on the rampage, and he is looking good for a race win maybe. He's only got one car to get past, and that is Valtteri Bottas. And just further back on the same lap, this is the two Renaults of Daniel Ricciardo and Nico Hülkenberg going side by side again. Ricciardo is just ahead of Hülkenberg there, but Hülkenberg's definitely not giving this one up. Butler's backed off, as you can see. Ricciardo is still ahead just about as they go round the deep right-hander there, and in the end he just about Hülkenberg just runs out of space and has to slot in behind, and Ricciardo remains ahead. I don't know what the position this is for. I apologise for that one, but yeah, Ricciardo and Hülkenberg having a decent battle, and this is Sebastian Vettel again. He's got Valtteri Bottas in his sights, he's got DRS, he fakes the right and goes to the left and gets the job done, and Sebastian Vettel is now up into the race lead. He's passed both Mercedes and he is looking very, very quick, is Vettel in the Ferrari. Yeah. As you can see, both Mercedes not a match. Charles Leclerc isn't really doing anything at the moment, though he's still in P4, but his teammate has managed to get ahead of both Ferraris. And now we go back again to Devon Butler, who's now under pressure from the two cars behind him, Romain Grosjean and Sergio Perez. And Grosjean has got past him there. He's got the inside line for turn 2. Grosjean's past Butler, and now he's under immense pressure from Sergio Perez. Butler looks very slow. He looks very slow in that McLaren. I don't know what has happened there, but he is just losing places left, right and centre. He's lost 3 positions in this race alone, just from me watching, just from us watching it. If you're wondering what's happening in my race at the moment, not a lot. That's why we're showing pretty much everyone else other than that. But Devon Butler's engine is blown. That's why he was going so slow anyway. Devon Butler's engine has blown up, basically. He's having to park the car up to the sides of the track, and he is out of the race, and that gives me a free position, and we're up to P13. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Lando Norris behind us, yeah, couldn't catch us in the end. We did have a little bit of a run-in with him, but we finish in P13.
Well, that's a disappointing result for sure, but we'll try to bounce back at the next one.
Ferrari have really pulled it out of the bag today. It's a great win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So as you can see then, Sebastian Vettel ended up winning the Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas in 2nd and Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. We finish in a pretty, well, to be fair, considering how the fact that our internal combustion engine was wearing out, P13 is not that bad in the end. We managed to fight off Lando Norris in the McLaren behind us, even if we broke a bit of his front wing off. And Devon Butler was the only one not to finish. Ha! But yeah, it's a disappointing result in hindsight, but at the same time, considering how our car was, it was an okay result. It could have been a lot worse. As for the Drivers' Championship standings, we remain in 11th with only 8 points, but they are the only 8 points that the team has so far, as Alexander Albon still has none as of yet. And in the Constructors, we remain in 7th, again with just those 8 points. Williams and McLaren are still yet to score. So, at the end of the day, it was a pretty boring race and not very good for us either. We also decide to upgrade 2 components after this Grand Prix. We do our first upgrade on the chassis. We haven't upgraded it yet, and it isn't exactly the best chassis on the field. And we also do a minor engine upgrade as well. I'd think about doing durability upgrades, but nah, don't need it at the moment. We also take a new ICE, or the internal combustion engine, because obviously it wore out during the race, and I just have a look to see if any of my other parts potentially needs upgrading as well. I do think about the turbo, because obviously, you know, the turbo is important. Like, you know, the turbo is quite important. That's how you go fast. But I think in the end, I decide that I don't need any more components. It's just the internal combustion engine. And I'm still waiting, because I haven't really looked at this footage before, but I think that's going to be it. Yeah, that is definitely going to be it. So guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this episode of the F1 career mode. If you guys enjoyed it, then make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you like what you see. And until next time guys, thanks so much for watching. Peace.